Hi everyone, I'm Candy from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new product, the Little Prince Wind Chime, Little Prince Edition. This product is divided into the main part. Decoration 1. Decoration 2. The toy and assembly. Let's start with the main part. It's divided into the moon and the inner pocket. After everything is done, we'll proceed with the assembly. First, let's learn how to make the moon. We'll start with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The stitch techniques used include VSC 2 in 1, X stitch single crochet, slip stitch, and chain. Please watch the demonstration. First, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, R plus number indicates the round number. H plus number indicates the row number. The stitch instructions column describes the stitches and increases or decreases. When working the current round, the total stitches column shows the total number of stitches. After completing all the stitches in the current round, take the yarn. I'll demonstrate using cotton yarn here. Random colors. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, please refer to the product detail page and charts. First, using the magic ring method to start. Start with a finger wrap adjustable magic ring. Now work the first round. R1 is 8x. The number before X indicates how many stitches to make. Then crochet that many single crochets. This means crochet 8 single crochets into the magic ring. First, work 1 chain as the beginning chain for single crochet. This beginning chain is not marked in the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, you need to work a beginning chain at the beginning of each round. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Then start crocheting the X stitch single crochet, insert into the magic ring. Place the hook above the yarn. Then draw the yarn through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. 1 X stitch single crochet is completed. There's a V shape formed by 2 yarns on the upper right. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Let me demonstrate again. Insert into the loop. Place the hook above the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through in once. Another X stitch single crochet is completed. Later we'll call it single crochet for short. Next, pick up the magic ring and crochet 6 single crochets. Unless otherwise specified, the following single crochets are all X stitch single crochets. Continue crocheting. Check the stitch count after completing. Close the magic ring once the count is correct. Simply pull tight the starting tail of the yarn. The ring is now closed. Next, on the first single crochet of this round, work a slip stitch to finish. Locate the first single crochet. Pick up the stitch on its upper right side. You can also count the stitches from back to front. Insert the hook. Work 1 slip stitch. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch does not count as a stitch, it needs to be tightened to avoid adding extra stitches later. This slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, you always finish with a slip stitch and pull it tight. This completes the first round. Now move on to crochet the second round. R2 is 8V. The number before V indicates how many SC2 in 1 to make. Here it means making 8 SC2 in 1. Start with a chain 1 as the beginning chain. Let me emphasize again. At the beginning of each round, you must crochet a beginning chain. I won't mention this repeatedly later. In the first single crochet of the previous round, make a SC2 in 1, which is the insertion point of the slip stitch. Crochet 2 single crochets. While crocheting, keep the starting tail above the hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The SC2 in 1 is now complete. Continue making SC2 in 1 in the left stitch. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail. The second SC2 in 1 is completed. This round requires crocheting a total of 8 SC2 in 1. The remaining 6, all of them, should be crocheted using the method of making 2 single crochets in each stitch. Once the last SC2 in 1 is completed, check the stitch count. You can count the stitches by going back. This round has a total of 16 stitches. The total number of stitches for each round is clearly marked in the corresponding chart. From now on, I won't explain this again. Next, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pay attention. After finishing each round, always join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Tighten after the slip stitch is completed. The extra yarn tail from the beginning can be cut off directly, or you can leave it here as stuffing. The second round is complete. Continue to crochet the third round. R3 is to work a SC2 in 1 in each stitch of the previous round. Follow the same crochet method as round 2, only the stitch count is different. Once completed, let's move on to round 4. This round in the chart is 3XV*8. The parentheses here indicate a group. Asterisk number indicates how many times to repeat the group. Start with 1 beginning chain. Then work 1 single crochet in the insertion point of the slip stitch below. Continue with 2 single crochets downward. One SC2 in 1. 1 group of 3XV is now completed. Let me demonstrate another group. First, work 3 single crochets in sequence. Then work 1 SC2 in 1. This is the second group. This round needs to repeat 3XV 8 times. The remaining 6 repeats will all be 3 single crochets, followed by 1 SC2 in 1. Continue crocheting downward. Finally, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the third round. You can take a look. The right side has a clear texture. The back side has a blurry texture. We will use the clearer texture side as the right side of the entire piece. Next, we'll work on the 5th round. First, work 2 single crochets in sequence. Then work 1 SC2 in 1, followed by 2 single crochets. 1 group, 2x, V, 2x is completed. I'll demonstrate one more group. First, work 2 single crochets. Then work 1 SC2 in 1. Continue with 2 single crochets. This is the second group. Keep crocheting following the same method as before. Once everything is completed, join with a slip stitch and pull tight. This completes the 5th round. Since we started increasing more stitches from round 3, it's normal for the piece to be uneven. Let's take a look. One raised texture on the right side represents 1 round. Count these textures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So far we've worked 5 rounds. Round 6 to round 15. Everyone just follow the previous method, refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. Next, I'll use this sample to demonstrate how to crochet round 16. The chart shows V, 1 5x, 1 5x, V, asterisk 3, asterisk 2. The meaning of here is the same as make 1 beginning chain. According to the chart, first make 1 SC2 in 1, then the corresponding number of single crochets. After completed, follow the instruction. First make 15 single crochets. Then repeat the pattern of making 1 SC2 in 1 and 15 single crochets 3 times. After completion, one group of stitches inside the curly brackets is done. Continue with another group. First make 1 SC2 in 1. Then the corresponding number of single crochets. After completed, follow the instruction. First make 15 single crochets. Then repeat the pattern of making 1 SC2 in 1 3 times. Finally, join with a slip stitch. Round 16 is completed. The following rounds are crocheted following the previous demonstration. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitches. I've already worked ahead here. Leave a yarn tail about 3 times the length of the last round for sewing. Pay attention to make 1 chain to secure at the end, to prevent the loops from slipping off. Set it aside for now. That's the end of the demonstration for the moon motif. Next, we'll learn how to make the inner pocket. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. When completed, sew the sides together. Finally, sew it to the moon motif. Please watch the demonstration. Start with 9 chains. Then begin from the second to last stitch. Pick up one strand on the top of the chain, and work 8 single crochets in sequence. Here you can work regular single crochets, meaning insert the hook from below the yarn. Simply yarn over and work the stitch. From now on, except where specially noted, only use X stitch single crochet. For other areas, you can choose your preferred single crochet technique. This completes the first row. Next, work the second row, make 1 turning chain. Turn your work. Work single crochets evenly, mindful that the piece has been turned. The stitches correspond to the top left corner position. This completes the second row. Continue to crochet the third row. This row is worked in the same way as the second row. Make 1 turning chain. Turn your work. Work single crochets evenly. This completes the third row. The following rows will be worked in the same way as the third row. Follow the chart to complete the remaining rows. Once the corresponding rows for the inner pocket are completed, take out the light string. Fold the piece in half. Check if it can wrap around the light string. If not, adjust the row count. Leave a long yarn tail for sewing. Due to yarn differences, my row count and stitch count are for reference only. To make sewing easier later, you can use a thread to mark the first stitch of the first row. And the insertion position of the last stitch. Mark the first and last stitches of the last row. Next, proceed with assembly. Thread the reserved yarn tail from the inner pocket into the sewing needle. After folding the piece in half, sew the side edges together. Leave the starting point and the last row unsewn for now. Only sew along the folded edge. There's no specific sewing method required, just make sure it's sewn securely. Once one side is sewn, weave the yarn tail over to the other side. Once done, weave in the ends. Then take out the moon piece. The round count in my sample is not for reference, only demonstrating the method. Fold along the slip stitch marks. Perform whip stitch on the front and back stitches. Add appropriate stuffing while sewing. Keep sewing until reaching the middle position. Take out the inner pocket. Place it inside the moon piece. Then sew along the inner pocket opening. Pay attention to sew one side first. Once the inner pocket is in position, transition the yarn inside the piece. Then sew the other side. Once done, attach the moon piece together. Remember to add appropriate stuffing while sewing. The string lights can be placed inside the inner pocket. Continue sewing. Sew until the end. Don't worry if the stitch count is odd or even. Just finish the sewing. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. This completes the assembly of the main body. Next, let's learn about decoration 1. It includes flower 1, flower 2, flower 3 and leaves. Just follow the order to crochet. First, let's learn flower 1. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth. The new stitches used are F double crochet, E treble crochet, FT are 2 in 1, and EWT are 3 in 1. Please watch the demonstration. For row 1, follow the starting method of the inner pocket piece, and crochet using the same method as row 1. Once completed, let's move on to row 2. The table shows. It means to crochet the stitches in parentheses into the same position. Make 3 chains to start. Turn the work. These 3 chains correspond to the last single crochet of the previous row. Work 1 double crochet into this stitch. 1 treble crochet. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert into the same stitch position as the previous double crochet. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. This way, 1 treble crochet is completed. Work 2 more treble crochets into the same position. Work 1 double crochet into the same position. This completes the stitches in the parentheses. Work 1 single crochet into the left stitch. Next, the table shows K. It means to skip 1 stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the left stitch. Work 3 more treble crochets into the same position. Continue working 1 double crochet into the same position. Work 1 single crochet into the left stitch. This completes 1 group of stitches in the parentheses. From the skipped stitch to the current stitch forms 1 group. The following steps will be repeating this group. Everyone follow the chart to complete this row. This completes the second row. Now let's work on the third row. Make 2 chains as the turning chain doesn't count as 1 stitch. Turn over. Work 1 double crochet into the last stitch of the previous row. Work 1 Pt2 and 1 into the left stitch. Meaning work 2 treble crochets into the same position. This completes the Tr2 and 1. Work 1 Tr3 and 1 into the next stitch. Meaning work 3 treble crochets into the same position. One, 2, 3. This completes the Tr3 and 1. Then work the Tr3 and 1 symmetrically on the right side. Followed by 1 Tr2 and 1. One double crochet. 2 chains. After completing, work 1 single crochet on the left side. Then continue crocheting this row following the previous demonstration and referring to the chart. This completes row 3. Next, leave a long yarn tail for sewing. Roll the flower inward from the edge. Align the starting chain side evenly. Thread the reserved yarn into the yarn needle. Then use the reserved yarn to secure the base with a few stitches. First, move the yarn to the starting position. Just make sure it doesn't come apart. At the end, tie a knot to secure it. Don't cut the yarn. Set it aside for now. Any excess yarn can be woven away. That's all for flower 1. Everyone follow the same crocheting method as flower 1. Refer to the chart to crochet flower 2 and flower 3. Once completed, set them aside for now. That concludes the crocheting method for the flowers. Next, let's crochet the leaves. Take the yarn. Begin with a foundation chain. Once completed, starting from the second stitch from your hook, pick up one strand on the top of the chain, then work one single crochet in each stitch. 2 half double crochets. 3 double crochets. 2 half double crochets. 1 SC2 in 1. 1 CH1 SL picket. The crocheting method is to work one chain first. Then pick up the front loop of the single crochet in front. And make one slip stitch with the left side strand. You can leave it loose. That completes the CH1SL picket. At the same position as the previous SC2 in 1, work another SC2 in 1. Rotate the piece as you crochet the edging. Now you're on the other side of the chain. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain to crochet. That is the insertion position for this side stitch. Work 2 half double crochets in order. Pay attention not to insert into the same position as the SC2 in 1. Continue with 3 double crochets in order. Two half double crochets. 1 SC2 in 1. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail at the end for sewing. That's all for the crochet method of the leaves. Everyone follow the previous method to complete the remaining quantity of leaves. Put them aside for now after finishing. Next, let's learn decoration 2. Divided into planets, clouds, small flowers, stars in various sizes. Crochet them in order. The planet is divided into the main body and the halo. The starting method for the main body is the same as for the moon. Only the stitch count is different. Everyone follow the main body chart. Keep crocheting all the way to round 5. I've already finished mine. Pay attention to having the right side facing out, which means the side with the clearer texture. Next, let's crochet round 5. Make one beginning chain to start. The chart shows 2 4x evenly, which means one stitch to another. Work single crochet. Each round has 24 stitches. The total stitches remain the same as the previous round. In the future, when you see this kind of format, it means the same thing. After completing, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. This completes round 5. Round 6 is worked the same as round 5. Also one stitch to another, crocheting. This completes round 6. Now let's work round 7. Make one beginning chain. BLO in the chart means back loop only. There are 2 strands in one stitch. The strand closer to you is called the front loop. The strand away from you is called the back loop. For this round, work even single crochets into the back loops. Mark the front loop of the first stitch with a thread. It helps to easily find the position of the first stitch later. For this round, work into the back loops. Finally, work a slip stitch into the first stitch to join. This completes round 7. Continue to work round 8. First, work a single crochet. The next stitch is a SC2 tog. First, insert into the front loop of the first stitch. Then, insert into the front loop of the left stitch. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pass through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remain. Yarn over, draw through in once. SC2 tog completed. This method of working a decrease by picking up only the front loops is called an invisible decrease. Using this technique, the gaps between stitches are smaller. The piece looks more delicate overall. Work one single crochet in the next stitch. This completes a group of stitches in the chart. I'll demonstrate another group. First, work one single crochet. Then, work one SC2 tog on the left side. Insert the hook through the front loops of the next 2 adjacent stitches. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat twice. SC2 tog completed. Work 1 single crochet in the next stitch. This completes the second group of stitches. Follow this method. Keep crocheting all the way around. This completes the 8th round. Take a proper amount of fiberfill, stuff it inside the piece. Once completed, for the following rounds, just follow the chart. Add a small amount of fiberfill as you crochet along the edges. Leave a 20 cm yarn tail at the end. Thread the needle. Close the opening. Insert the needle into the front loop of each stitch in the last round 1 by 1. Gently tighten slightly. This way the opening is closed neatly, then tie off and weave in the ends. Next, let's crochet the halo. The first round faces towards you. Insert the hook into the position of the first stitch that we marked earlier. Take the corresponding yarn. Make a slip knot. Insert the hook into the knotted loop. Adjust the loop size. Yarn joined successfully. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet at the joining position. Pick up the front loop and make 1 SC2 and 1 on the left side. One group of stitches is completed. Continue picking up the front loops and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. 1 SC2 and 1. This completes the second group of stitches. After that, follow the previous demonstration. Refer to the chart and crochet until the last stitch. When finished, do not join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Simply leave a yarn tail of 15 centimeters. Pull it through. A seamless bind off is needed. This will look neater. Thread the yarn through the sewing needle. Pass through the first stitch. Then thread it back through the center of the last stitch. Adjust the size. This completes the binding off. Weave the yarn tail. This concludes the crocheting method for the planet. After finishing the halo, embroider line segments on top. On the stitches of the third round. On the stitches of the sixth round. And embroider on the 2 rounds below the halo. Cut 1 piece of yarn in the corresponding color. Insert the needle from any position. One line covers 2 stitches or 1 single crochet. Finally, weave the yarn tail. This completes the embroidery of line segments on the planet. Next, let's learn how to make clouds. Take the yarn. Start with a foundation chain. After complete, begin from the third stitch from the end. Pick up the back ridge and crochet. The front side of the chain looks like 2 threads forming a V shape. The thread on the back is called the back ridge. The first row is to pick up the back ridges and work 6 single crochets in sequence. Start crocheting from the third stitch from the end. One SC 2 in 1. This completes the first row. You can see that the starting point also forms a V-shaped loop. Next, crochet the second row, make 1 turning chain, turn the work, pick up the stitches from the previous row, and crochet 6 single crochets in sequence. One SC2 in 1. Skip 1 stitch at the end and do not crochet. This completes the second row. Continue to crochet the third row, make 1 turning chain, turn the work, skip 1 stitch and do not crochet, work 1 half double crochet into the left stitch, 3 single crochets, 1 SC2 tog. Use a regular SC2 tog here. Insert the hook into the left stitch, and draw the yarn through. Then insert into the next stitch and draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all loops at once. This completes a regular SC2 tog. Skip the last stitch and leave it unworked. This completes the third row. Now let's crochet the last row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the work. Skip 1 stitch. Work 1 half double crochet. 1 double crochet. Work 1 half double crochet in the left stitch. 1 chain. Make 1 slip stitch in the same position. You can leave it not too tight. That's all for the crochet method of the cloud piece. You need to make 2 pieces in total. For 1 piece, fasten off the yarn normally at the end. For the other piece, leave a 30 cm yarn tail at the end for sewing. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a yarn needle. Overlap the 2 pieces. You can apply a little glue to secure them. Then sew them together using a whip stitch. Simply pick up the edges of the pieces and sew them with whip stitch. Everyone should sew around the entire edge. Weave the yarn tail after completing. That's all for the making method of the cloud. Put it aside for now. Next, let's learn how to make small flowers. Get the yarn. Start with a magic ring. After completing, work 2 chains as beginning chain. Then in the chart you see 3TQ. This indicates a HDC3 puff, which is a puff stitch made with 3 half double crochets. The crochet method is to first make 3 unclosed half double crochets. Start with the first one. Yarn over once. Insert into the loop. Yarn over and pull through. This completes 1 unclosed half double crochet. Then make 2 more unclosed half double crochets in the same position. Finally, yarn over and pull through all loops at once. This completes a HDC3 puff. Then work 2 chains as a transition. Make 1 slip stitch in the magic ring. This completes one group of stitches. Let me demonstrate another group. First, work 2 chains. 1 HDC3 puff. Which means first make 3 unclosed half double crochets. Finally, yarn over and pull through all loops at once. This completes a HDC3 puff. Continue with 2 chains as a transition. 1 slip stitch. This completes the second group of the sequence. For the following parts, just follow this demonstrated group. Work the entire round according to the chart. Cut the yarn. Pull the ring tight. That's all for the crocheting method of this small flower. Take the thread for embroidering the flower core. About 30 centimeters in length. Thread the needle. Insert into the center position. Leave a little yarn tail at the end. Hold the needle close to the workpiece slightly. Wrap the thread around the needle 2-3 times. Then bring the needle out from the center position. Pay attention. Pick up a little thread to secure. This will prevent the flower core from being pulled out. When done, wrap around 2-3 more times on the other side. Bring out from the center position. Finally, weave all the yarn tails. Apply glue to the bottom of the flower core. This way, the small flower is finished. Everyone, hook one more. Set it aside for now. Next, I'll talk about the different sizes of stars. There are a total of 5 star sizes. I'll start with star 1. Take the yarn. Begin with an adjustable magic ring. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 slip stitch into the ring. You can pick up the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch to mark. After completing, work 2 chains. Don't make the chains too tight. Keep them slightly loose. Start from the last chain. Pick up each back ridge in turn and work one slip stitch. One single crochet. After completing, work one slip stitch into the starting ring. We'll consider the stitches from the first chain to now as one sequence. I'll repeat one more sequence. First, work 2 chains. Pay attention not to make the chains too tight. Starting from the last chain, work one slip stitch into each. One single crochet. Work one slip stitch into the ring. With this, the second sequence is complete. Keep it going. Leave the last slip stitch of this final sequence unworked. We need to make a total of 2 pieces. One will end with a normal fasten off, the other will leave a 30 cm yarn tail. Pull the yarn through. Then tighten the starting yarn tail. Tighten the center of the piece. Insert the hook at the marked position. Hook out the reserved yarn. Then insert into the last stitch. Pull the yarn through. Tidy it up slightly. Remove the yarn marker. Gently stretch out the 5 corners like this. Separate one strand from the reserved yarn. Weave the excess yarn into the piece. Thread that separated strand through a yarn needle. Place the 2 star pieces with wrong sides facing each other, right sides out. Locate the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch and insert the needle. Then start sewing by picking up the edges. Once completed, tie off and weave in the ends. That concludes the crochet method for star 1. Star 2 doesn't involve any new stitches or techniques. Simply follow the chart for crocheting. Pay attention to the star piece. The last stitch needs to be joined with a slip stitch to the first stitch. The two pieces need to be sewn together. The method is the same as for star 1. I've already prepared mine in advance. Now let's demonstrate the crochet method for star 3. For the first round, follow the chart. I've already prepared mine in advance. Next, crochet the second round. Start by working 3 chains. Begin from the last chain. Pick up each back ridge and work 1 slip stitch. One single crochet. 1/2 double crochet. Once completed, skip the second stitch of the first round. Work 1 slip stitch in the third stitch. This completes one group of stitches. Let me demonstrate another group. Start by working 3 chains. Then begin from the last stitch. Pick up each back ridge and work 1 slip stitch. 1 single crochet. 1/2 double crochet. Once completed, skip 1 stitch in the first round underneath. Work 1 slip stitch in the next stitch. This completes the second sequence. The following steps will repeat the second sequence demonstration. Complete this round by following the chart. Pay attention that the last slip stitch of this sequence is worked in the first stitch position. A total of 2 pieces need to be crocheted. One piece is finished with a normal fasten off. Leave a long yarn tail on the second piece for sewing. The sewing method is the same as for star 1. Everyone sew up star 3. That concludes the demonstration for star 3. For the remaining star sizes, follow the previous demonstration and crochet according to the chart. That completes the crochet technique for the stars. Once completed, set them aside for now.